watching Rogers TV.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Welcome to Exploring Fredericton Homes. I'm Chris Turner.
And I'm Rachel Messer.
In this episode, we're going to learn about home inspections and explore the world of home renovations.
But we'll start by learning about home staging and interior design.
So Nicole, tell me how you got into becoming an interior designer.
As a kid, had a lot of interest in rearranging and refinishing pieces and painting rooms from like 10 years old and on, and I started refinishing furniture in the house at like 12 years old. I was given like a palm sander as a Christmas gift kind of idea, so it's sort of always. And then after high school, kind of took that route toward university, as a lot of people do and recommend, and then learned about Compu College offering the interior design and decorating program, and just sort of said, I'm going to finish out this year at UMB and then switch gears, and sort of never looked back, I guess.
So somebody who just takes over their home, and how would a typical consultation look like? Well, what would you go through?
Usually I have, it's very client-led. It's just between my personality, and I think that you learn the most letting the client take the lead. So I just have them either zero in on whatever specific project they're looking for, or if they're looking to just kind of do a general styling through the house or need to furnish areas throughout the house. We just kind of physically walk through the house, and I just ask them what works for them, what doesn't. You know, if they could make this an ideal space for themselves, what would that include? And then any special considerations I should make, whether it's for mobility or the function or a certain age group that they have in their family, or all sorts of things.
And did COVID impact your business? I know you mentioned the working from home trend. How was it where you probably weren't able to get into as many homes?
That was quite interesting. At first it was, you know, for everyone, it's just a big shutdown and no one knows what's going on. So just kind of posted that piece out until further notice. I'm going to do everything online, and any projects I had on the go, they were all paused, like any renovations or anything, because the trades couldn't get into the homes. So it was a standstill, like for most of us, and we shifted to mask making naturally. Firstly, I only did it out of interest's sake. I had fabrics and just sort of having too much time on my hands, just said, I'm going to whip up some masks, and it just took off, and we did that for I think 2.5 years, like full time. And it brought my assistant back with me full time. And when we couldn't work together in my office, she would pick up supplies and take them to her house. And
oh, wow. Yeah,
we were just little busy bees. And then when, you know, the coast was clear, or clearish, with regulations, of course, everything work-wise for me just went up a level. Like, people just wanted to do more. And again, on that, I think making their house work for them, just put more effort into their own home, and it just really worked out for us.
So as far as the trends of feature walls, like board and batten walls, is there anything new that's coming in? Like, what are you seeing a lot of that really catches your eye?
What is becoming more popular is a change in texture on a wall to make it an accent wall. So like a stucco type of finish, sometimes called Marrakech, or lime wash kind of look, and it's just a soft look.
Do you find there's things that are kind of go-tos for you to keep the trends longer, or is there certain ones that are very much like, you know, that it's only going to be in for a short period of time?
I find when it's, you know, visually loud or just so popular, I think that's going to fizzle out fast. Like, I find the trends that explode are usually the ones that do exactly that. After a certain point, it just bursts because everyone's done it and it just gets watered down and it just loses its appeal. What I find has more lastability is something that's based on something traditional, like the textures like I described, or something a little more subtle.
So when you did your house, how did you decide what you were going to do for style? Are you constantly updating your own house?
I am, because we are in a 90s era 2-story and it kind of needs updates throughout. So we've been just making it our own. But in that, just trying to stay true to what exists in the house that's fixed. Like I have a brick hearth for a wood stove, so then I did a brick look backsplash in the kitchen because you see them together, but it's in a white. So then, I feel like they translate. And everything I pick in there, it's what I like, obviously, but also I just think of lastability in terms of function and quality, as well as color choice and texture and things.
When it comes down to the services that you offer, what do you find that you're doing the most often?
At this time, we're doing mostly designing of interior spaces, so laying out interior walls in the case that it's a home that's not yet been built, just to maybe improve the layout from the original spec plan. The same for a renovation. If I'm showing the client what their new space will look like, I will draw that in SketchUp for them to show them the new space in a 3D way, and a lot of consultation, whether it be for staging or for just the homeowner's own interest's sake, so for new furnishings or styling throughout, or a renovation that they're considering.
What are some of the challenges that are in your business?
I would say the most challenging thing I come across these days is securing tradespeople for the renovation projects, because as you know, sometimes renovations don't follow the timeline as planned, and then if I can't have those certain tradespeople in during the planned window of opportunity, sometimes you might miss them altogether because they need to move on to their next project. And it can just cause timelines on a project to shift quite a bit. So it's just been having a good list of contacts who you trust and who will make you a priority when the time is needed.
Certainly from the standpoint of somebody looking to change up their already existing home, or I liked what you said about somebody who just moves in and then wants a fresh take on their brand new property. But certainly one of the most common uses would be somebody getting ready to sell their home. Now, how do you find you kind of get that information out there, like to a home seller, about the value that you bring when they are looking to sell their home?
So in terms of a staging consultation with the seller,
Yes.
we add a lot of value, because I find, even personally, it's really hard to see your space from that other perspective. When you live in it and it's your home, you become blind to kind of what you're living in sometimes. So the consultation is great. I can provide them with a practical list of simple things that just make the space more appealing to more people, and usually just by defining spaces for the buyer and paring down the homeowner's belongings.
Hi, can I take your order? Hello?
Oh, hey. Wait, what was the question?
Let me guess. One driving high combo, extra baked?
No. Could I get a burger with a side of fries?
Think you're a better driver when you're high? Think again. Smoking weed affects reaction time and concentration. A message from Mad Canada.
Man, is there a lot of pressure on this young fighter here tonight.
Fighting is life.
This is my belt. I earned this in blood, paid in full. This is mine.
Everyone gets knocked down, but fighters get back up.
You cannot break me, I promise you.
Adversity is the road to victory. Sacrifice is the price for glory. The very struggle for survival is the fight for greatness.
Today, I helped a senior find transportation to an important medical appointment.
Today, I helped a new mom find virtual programming so she didn't feel so isolated.
Today, I helped someone understand new government supports.
Every day, 211 navigators connect Canadians to critical government and community programs and services.
211. Help starts here.
Welcome back to Exploring Fredericton Homes. In this section, we'll learn about the importance of a home inspection.
And not just when you're buying or selling a home. Amy Hashey sat down with home inspector Adam Anderson.
Why is it critical to have a home inspection?
For many people, the purchase of a home is the biggest investment that they'll ever make. I don't believe you want to leave anything to chance in buying a home and being left with risk that you can't take care of. Mortgage rates are higher. A lot of people with their mortgage payment, they don't have a lot of leftover money, so they can't afford surprises. So everybody should seriously consider buying, when they're buying a home, have that home inspection done. A home inspection is a non-invasive visual inspection of a home. Non-invasive meaning we don't knock out walls, we can only see what we can see, we don't move furniture. As for why it's important from a buyer standpoint to protect themselves against unforeseen and unknown hidden issues.
How long is a home inspection typically, and what should home buyers and homeowners expect?
Home inspection typically takes around 3 hours depending on size and age of home.
What are the primary areas that you're inspecting?
So home inspectors, most of us follow standards of practice. So the things we look at are exterior systems, which includes roof, siding, windows, doors, patios, decks, grading, vegetation. Moving to the inside of the home, it's your electrical, plumbing, HVAC systems, looking at structure, looking for signs of water damage. It's also looking at smaller things such as plumbing fixtures, looking for signs in the living spaces of potential issues, be it water damage such as mold, and just function of the systems within the home.
What do you envision for the future of home inspections?
I think what's changing what's evolving is the professionalism of the home inspection. I see opportunity, I hate to say it, but I think AI will play a part. Some home inspectors are already using ChatGPT to kind of standardize the language being used in reports. So instead of using the language that every different home inspector would use, we're using that to do more standardization. So I think a lot more standardization of process is what I envision in the future.
So can you tell me the liabilities if someone chooses to not get a home inspection?
Worst case scenarios involve buying a home and then realizing you can't get insurance because electrical, plumbing, heating systems aren't sufficient. Even worse scenarios involve moving in and finding major problems. And when we talk major, we talk tens of thousands of dollars to fix. So maybe additions to homes that weren't done properly in their separation, or cracked foundations, mold issues, things that require huge remediation costs. So those are some of the things that have happened over the last couple of years with people foregoing home inspections.
Can you tell me a time that a client has had a horror story that hasn't chosen a home inspection?
Yeah, in 2020, last year this started, in 2022, a lot of the calls I was getting weren't to do pre-purchase home inspections, they were post-sale home inspections. So a potential client has moved into a home, they're finding issues, and they want a home inspector to come in and document them for them. So some of the things that I've been called about are typically the things are mold, foundation issues, attic issues, a lot of things that you can't see as a home buyer when you walk through a home during your showing. So, you know, we take a bit of a peek behind the curtains that's not done when a realtor is showing a home. So those are the types of issues. Some of them have gone to court. I honestly don't know the outcome of some of them. I just perform a home inspection to my standards of practice and give it to my client, and what they do with it after that is beyond me, but I know there have been some legal issues over the past couple of years. So some examples of successful home inspections where the sale stays is when a home inspector identifies an issue and the realtors and their clients get together and can come up with a solution. So I have had instances where an addition wasn't done properly, it wasn't done with proper footing. The fix is $30,000 to fix it. So in the end, buyer gets the home, but they don't have to inherit the defect that came with the home. I had another instance where it was a mini home on a foundation, and there was a small damp crawl space under the home, and the sills were all rotted. It was something that wouldn't have been easy to see, but again, a contractor was brought in to assess to determine what the cost would be to repair. It was $35,000. So the cost of the home was only $150,000. So those are significant fines, and every time we find one of those, I have to ask myself, I wonder how many of those are not being found because of the home inspection being bypassed due to the nature of the market.
Can you tell me some common misconceptions that you might run into about your industry?
There is a bit of a misconception that a home inspection will find everything that's wrong with the home. It isn't an exhaustive list. What people are paying for is anywhere from a 2 to 4 hour visual inspection. We don't move furniture. Again, our standards of practice forbid us from doing certain things. We often can't see issues that have been intentionally concealed, and we can't go places that are inaccessible. So an example of that might be old wiring. So the visible wiring has all been changed, but there's still wiring behind the walls. It's also difficult to over-speculate. You know, we can talk verbally about issues that may be there, but really the report has to stick to what we see during the inspection.
What advice might you give to homeowners on how they can maintain their properties so that they can avoid some of these major issues that you're finding in home inspections?
I know with my clients, I do provide a guide to them for maintaining their property. Those should be available from any home inspector. That's a good start. The biggest enemies to homes around here are moisture infiltration, I find. So that involves staining, painting, caulking, sealing. Those are all regular maintenance activities that should be undertaken. The other one, of course, because of our seasons, is heat loss. So insulation, weather stripping of doors and windows. Those are all, I'm going to say, activities that don't require a huge level of expertise that every homeowner should know how to do.
So in your opinion, are there any key advancements in the industry that you might see coming into play?
In New Brunswick, it's not a regulated industry, which is in some ways unfortunate. Only 2 provinces in Canada are home inspectors required to be licensed. So I do see that coming, although Ontario has tried to do it, but they've since pulled back. But I think that would be a big advancement. And it's a positive advancement because I think it ups the standard, it ups the delivery. Really in New Brunswick, there's nothing to keep anybody from printing off a few business cards and becoming a home inspector. There's no requirement to be licensed, so therefore there's no requirement to be bonded and insured either. So I think with regulation, it would bring some of those things to the surface. It might drive some people out of business, but it would certainly improve the standard of inspection delivery in New Brunswick.
So if someone's looking to list their home, what issues should they address?
So the typical things that come up almost on every home inspection, Yeah, caulking, sealing, painting, staining, addressing some of the issues that you've known about for years, that creaky bathroom exhaust fan. I would address a lot of the low-hanging fruit. You don't need to spend thousands of dollars getting your home ready to sell, but spending a few $100s will probably remove 80% of the things that are going to come up on a home inspection report.
These days at your local Legion, we're marching to the beat of a different drum. On a mission to support veterans, to have fun, and to welcome everyone to our ranks. You don't have to be a veteran to join the Legion. And as a member, you'll join thousands of others serving our veterans, our communities, and our country. Oh yeah, and our Member Perks program will save you thousands on shopping, dining, products, and services across the country. Join us at legion.ca.
Everybody come along, everybody sing a song, lighten up and carry on. It's a brand new day. Everybody come along, everybody sing a song, lighten up and carry on. It's a brand new day. It's a brand new day.
We return to exploring Fredericton homes.
In the final part of the show, we're going to meet David Haas. Some of you may remember him from his days playing professional hockey. Well, he's off the ice and now he's working on a home near you.
So how long have you lived here?
We purchased the house in October 2015, and after all the renovations, I think we completed in 2017. I think in August we moved in, so it's quite a while.
And what renovations have you done to the house?
Everything. The house was totally gutted. The addition we put on, off the top of my head, I think is 26 by 16 feet. So it's quite, and that's not very big, but with the amount of space we had to work with, it was quite a bit. It was about twice the size of the original house. So there wasn't much to the original house. But yeah, the addition is, as you've seen, is kind of wide open. We tried to do as much of an open concept as you can do in one of these older homes. I mean, it is over 120 years old, roughly, and yeah, it was quite the challenge.
How did you choose your decor?
I did not choose it. My wife chose everything. So yeah, you know, I think when choosing everything, I think it comes with what you're willing to spend and obviously budgets, and we try to keep within a budget.
And what kind of style were you going for?
The style she was going, she loves rustic, so you know, she likes the old farmhouse, the crafts. I think she gets that from her mother, and she loves that sort of thing, and she loves flowers and all these things.
So this home is in downtown Fredericton. Would you ever renovate another home in this area downtown?
I love downtown, love being downtown. The older homes, and this wasn't my first, it was probably our fourth, I think. And they were all quite a challenge. Basically taking everything down to the studs. There's no insulation in these things, so, and seeing that they're older homes, they're built, 100 years ago, if not more. They're totally framed differently. What they had called at that time balloon framing, and that's when they build the walls all at the same time, come in and build floors after the fact. But there's a lot of challenges, obviously, with that. You're changing wiring, it's a big job. I mean, you have to redo everything. Would I do it again? Yeah, sure, why not?
What did you do before you got into home renovations?
Right before, I had played hockey professionally for a long time. And after my hockey career, I got into coaching, running hockey programs. It's something that kind of pulled me in. I was hoping to get out of it when I retired, but coming back from Europe, my boys, we have 2 sons that wanted desperately to play hockey, and it kind of drew me back in, and I was full-time into hockey again. And not till coming down here in 2012 that I was totally away from hockey, and decided to get into the family business, my wife's family business, and into building. And I've loved it, and I really enjoy it.
So prior to the interview, you mentioned that you've traveled around to many different places and lived in different areas. Did you get any inspiration for style and decor from those places?
I believe so. My wife really, we enjoyed it as a family. We lived in Germany, northern Germany, for a long time. We lived in Austria, we lived in Italy, Slovenia. So we got to see a lot of different things, a lot of post and beam homes. And that's what we ended up buying in Germany. And this definitely reflects what we had.
What made you decide to move downtown?
I think the lifestyle, like we can walk everywhere you want to go. You can go down for a drink downtown, you can walk, you can grab a bite to eat. We have dogs, so it's nice walking around. There's lots of parks. For the most part, it's nice and quiet. My wife fell in love with the house. She saw it. It's not a big house. She likes, it being small and comfy and cozy and that sort of idea. And we try to keep, with the addition, we try to keep everything kind of looking the same, and just updating, obviously, everything inside.
Is there anything you would have done differently during your renovation?
We did our planning. We did our due diligence. It would have been nice to do it a little bit faster. We had to move out of a couple of rentals while we were waiting for this to be completed. So that was a little bit additional cost than what we planned for. But no, I think it went pretty smoothly for the most part.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
My Uncle Cheney was one of over 150,000 Indigenous children that were taken to residential schools between the 1800s and 1996. My uncle ran away from school wanting to get home to his mom and dad, and sadly he didn't make it and died of exposure. When Gord Downey found out about my late Uncle Cheney's story, he wrote Secret Path, a series of poems that became an album, then a graphic novel, a documentary, and a concert. Gord met my family, and together we formed the Gord Downey and Cheney Winjack Fund. Together we are sharing Secret Path and other reconciliation resources with legacy schools, setting up legacy spaces across Canada, and hosting events like Secret Path Week to inspire all Canadians to engage in reconciliation. Before he left us, Gord asked us all to do something.
You're gonna figure it out.
Will you join us? Together we can make Canada a better place.
I still remember the games. The laughter, the footsteps through the hallway. I'll never forget the challenges.
Every day I come back from work, it's always like this. We're yelling in front of the kids.
I'll never forget the help we needed. How far we've come.
I am lucky to meet so many amazing